Good day, everyone. This is the Glenn Johnson Show here on Awesome Radio, 106.9 FM, WBISLP, Winterville, Aden, Grifton, Southside, Greenville, North Carolina. Our topic of discussion today is child safety and hot car. Joining me is a fabulous woman. Her name is Miss Ellen Walston. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Miss Ellen Walston to the broadcast today.
Thank you so much, Dr. J. And I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to reach your audience, to be in Eastern North Carolina. And my job is to keep children safe and to keep them out of our hospital. And I'm just so thrilled to have this opportunity to be here today to provide some important safety information.
And I appreciate it because I know you are an advocate for child safety and in particular injury prevention and things of that nature. So I applaud you. And right from the start, I know the work that you do, your if I guess would say department or had received an award. You would mind explaining that word to me?
Yeah, so we are a Safe Kids Coalition, and North Carolina has 36 Safe Kids coalitions, and we are part of the Safe Kids Worldwide network. There are over 300 coalitions in the United States, and then we're in many, many countries. So it's an international affiliation. We are very blessed to have that Safe Kids designation because we receive funding from Safe Kids Worldwide to be able to do all of the projects that we undertake. And we received an award at our May statewide Safe Kids conference in May of this year for the North Carolina North Carolina Safe Kids Coalition of the Year for 2021. And what I was told, Dr. J, is one of the main reasons that our coalition won was we really have a strong social media presence. We have a social media toolkit that we post at least 4 times a week, sometimes even more often than that, just sharing important safety information. And it's being noticed. And many times our posts are shared, and we can carry that important safety information across the state and beyond.
And if I don't mind asking, what are some of the safety tips that's provided on that social media platform?
Yeah, so our primary focus is any unintentional injury from ages 0 to 19. So, again, we are trying to prevent injuries in children that sometimes people call them accidents. A crash is not an accident, and many times it is fully preventable. And the injuries are preventable when a child is in the proper car safety seat, when we have the right tools to childproof your house. So we cover bike and pedestrian safety, water safety, fire safety, gun safety, ATV safety, child passenger safety. I think I said water. That can be open water or pools. We have a big focus because we have lots of water in Eastern North Carolina. And those are our primary risk areas. Teen safe driving. We have an entire grant devoted to teen safe driving. So many risk areas. And that's a lot to cover. Yet we pride ourselves in being a small team, but really being able to have positive outcomes and reach as many people as possible. And one thing I've learned in my 30 years at the hospital is you have to delegate. You have to have a team. You have to have partners. You cannot do the work alone.
Yeah, and I did click on a link on the social media platform that was speaking about swimming pool safety. Mm-hmm. But I just want to mention briefly, since you have mentioned gun safety, yes. I was on the Pitt County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, and I saw a post where they're not recommending any longer that you store a weapon, a firearm inside of a vehicle, yes. whether it's locked or not. And I think the law in North Carolina law is as long as you have a concealed carry permit, you are allowed to leave it locked in the vehicle. But now I think they're recommending otherwise. I don't have all the facts with me right now because I'll say that for the police report and first responder show. But be assured, myself and Vernon Garrison, we will be talking about that issue.
Great.
Back to Ms. Ellen.
Thank you.
We have 5 minutes remaining for this particular segment. So we're talking child safety and hot car. If you would like to have a word, a comment, or a question for Ms. Ellen, please do so by calling 252-756-2008. I'll get the next 4 minutes back over to Ms. Ellen.
Great. Thank you so much. And this is such an important topic, Dr. J. And unfortunately, we have been tracking the deaths of children in hot cars since 1998, and we have lost 924 children in the United States to pediatric vehicular heat stroke, which is a tragic number, and one is too many. All of these deaths could have been prevented.
Could have been
Children
prevented, right.
sometimes are left intentionally in a car, sometimes it's completely by accident. Only 17% are intentional. 53% are forgotten. And people say all the time, how could someone do that? And my question is, have you ever forgotten your cell phone? Have you ever misplaced your keys? We live in a distracted world. We live in so many things that are coming at us, and it's so easy to forget. So we already have had a death in North Carolina, and that has been tragic. We had one in Virginia as well. The North Carolina death was a father should have taken the child to daycare, and he drove straight to work. And when I've had opportunities, Dr. J, to attend conferences and learn more about hot car safety, I have sat with fathers that have forgotten their children, and my heart breaks for them. And they just weep when they talk with me.
Yeah.
And they say, Ellen, please tell people they could do it too.
That's right.
Everybody thinks they would never do that.
That's right. Nobody's immune. And since you talk about the hot car topic right now, when we did the thing at the Coles parking lot, I was there with you because you invited me as a member of the Pitt County Safe Community Coalition, and I'm on the traffic action team that you chair.
Yes.
One thing that was mentioned by a lieutenant from the Greenville Fire Rescue, that the day of that event, they had just happened to have a call where a child was locked in the car. Fortunately and luckily, the child was able to remove himself from the car to avoid injury or death to himself. And I'll mention one other thing before I give it back over you 2 minutes. So last year, I had stopped at the Walgreens in Winterville. And when I parked, a lady parked next to me. And as I was attempting to get out of my car, I noticed she was getting out of her car. So I waited for her to get out of her car so that we wouldn't collide with each other with our doors. So when she got out, I noticed that she left a little boy in the back seat. So I said, ma'am, I don't mean to bother you, but I'm a concerned citizen. I didn't mention anything other than that I was a concerned citizen. And I told her I didn't think it was a good idea to leave the child in the car. And I explained to her the reason why. So after she must have thought about what I said, and turned back around immediately and removed the child from the car and took the child inside the store with her. So I said, thank you very much, because you know that could be very dangerous. You don't want to leave a child inside of a hot car for not even a second.
No.
Is that correct?
Absolutely. And that's what we recommend. Never leave your child alone, not even for 1 minute.
And since we're talking about hot heat itself, we have 1 minute to go on this particular segment before we go to the break. I'm going to ask Ms. Ellen if she could give me a little information on another thing that we were sharing at the event, and that was s'mores, how the temperature of the s'more could be one thing on the outside, but if you bite into it, it's a whole nother temperature, and that could possibly cause a heat stroke.
Absolutely. And the issue with that, Dr. J, is cars heat so quickly. When we started our event, it was a 90-degree day, and the car began to heat. Our van heated very quickly, but cars can heat sometimes up to 40 degrees just in a matter of minutes. And that's what we did at the event, was to track the temperature and show that you can cook s'mores on the dashboard of a car. It's that hot.
It's that hot. It's right. And I know that for a fact because, I basically have a newer vehicle. In my car, I'm parked in the garage. As soon as I pull out and park in front of the garage, that car heats up so fast. I'm like, are you serious? That amount of heat can be built up in this car that fast. So I stopped parking in front of my garage and always park inside the garage.
Yeah.
Just to keep the cool car nice and cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first segment that we're running now. This is the Glenn Johnson Show on Awesome Radio. Back in a moment.
My name is Jayla, and you're to see to my papa, Glenn Johnson, on the radio.
say if they can hear us?
How about now?
Yeah.
I think I just fixed the problem.
Okay, great.
I think I just fixed. Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Okay. Miss Beverly, let us know if you can hear us now. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And if you would like to call in, if you have a question or comment for Ms. Ellen or myself, if I can answer it, please do so by calling 252-756-2008. And we would love to hear from you and love to hear your thoughts. Back to Ms. Ellen.
Yes. So I'm wondering if I need to recap that last section. I'll just talk about that very quickly. Again, our message is to never leave a senior or pet or child in a hot car, not even for a minute. The purpose also in that message is that children's bodies have a smaller surface area to cool themselves, and they can't verbalize when they're thirsty if it's a small child. So that is the biggest concern. With a senior, like Dr. J mentioned, they may have medical conditions. As our bodies age, it's more difficult to cool, and we just never want to take that chance and leave someone, not even for a minute. Along those same lines, we have an acronym by the letters ACT, ACT, where we want you to take action. If you ever see a child, a pet, or a senior left in a car, please call the police and make sure that someone addresses attention to that area, just like Dr. J did in his example at Walgreens. We always need to take action and not assume that someone else will do it.
Yeah, and like I said, I identified myself as a private citizen, just concerned citizen. Although I'm a volunteer with the Pitt County Sheriff's Office and a social member at one of our fire station, I didn't mention either one of those because I wanted to let her know to feel comfortable. I was just a concerned private citizen.
Yes. Excellent. And thank you for taking action, Dr. J. That's so important that we do that. And again, we live in a busy society where we see things happening, and sometimes we just keep moving on, and we have to take action if we ever see a child, senior, or pet at risk in a hot car. Thank you.
And we have 2 minutes remaining for this particular segment. So I'm going to repeat what I had mentioned when I was a firefighter, since one of the gentlemen chatted that he couldn't hear. So when I was a firefighter in New Jersey, we had always been instructed that your lungs would shut down at 200 degrees. But since that time, that has changed because now they're saying, depending on your location, the climate, the atmosphere, and the oxygen level, your lungs could shut down at 100 and some degrees. And as you know, it could get very well over 100 some degrees here in North Carolina. I remember last year, I came out of my house to get in my car, my truck at the time I had a truck. As soon as I started up the truck, the outside temperature gauge read 120. I ran back in the house hiding from the sun like it was the police. Just had to throw a little joke in there.
Yes, that's
Back to Ellen.
excellent. Thank you. So another tip that I would love to give, because you mentioned this earlier about parking in the garage, we always want to make sure that our cars are locked, even in a garage, in your driveway, because we have had many concerns, Dr. J, with children getting inside of a car and accidentally locking themselves. So again, that's that hot car issue where they're trapped in the car. The parent doesn't even realize it because the car had been left unlocked. And it's important to do that in your garage as well, because sometimes children will slip out after a nap. And we just want to make sure that you always are keeping those doors locked so a child does not wander into the car to play and become entrapped.
Absolutely. And we have 30 seconds to go for this particular segment. Then we'll go out to a break. But when we come from the break, I would like for Ms. Ellen Walston to share some information on to how you can receive information about child safety and in particular hot car from their organization. And I have another question for her when we come from the break. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivation with Glenn and Massena, here on Awesome Radio 106.9 FM. We'll be back in a moment. So keep it locked right here. Don't go nowhere. Back in a moment.
Hi, this is Dr. Armistead from Physicians East Dermatology. You are listening to
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Glenn Johnson Show. This is Awesome Radio, 106.9 FM, WBISLP. I'm not going to hold anything up because Ms. Ellen has some important information to get out to the public. Ellen?
Point, a way to remind yourself to check the back seat, because again, center rear is the safest position for your child, and we actually recommend any child under 13 would remain in the back seat. The reason for that is when a child is in the front seat, those airbags are super powerful, and they can come out at 200 miles per hour and could be very harmful for a small child in the front seat. So please make sure that your child under 13 remains in the back seat. So a reminder, if you are a father that's taken the child to daycare and that's not in your normal routine, many times with the 53% of children that are forgotten, it tends to be by a father because he is out of his normal routine. He goes straight to work instead of taking the child to daycare. So one thing that we suggest is put your lunch bag in the back seat. If you have a briefcase, a laptop bag, if you want to place your cell phone in the back seat, anything that would remind you to check the back seat. We also have new technology that is arriving on our cars. GMC, Ford, several of those brands do have reminders to check the back seat, and you could also even set an alarm on your cell phone to remind you to make sure that you are checking that back seat. So there are ways, again, that we can prevent this horrible tragedy, and it is so important that you are intentional and remember to place a reminder in the back seat.
Absolutely. I think that's a good idea. Ms. Allen, if you want to go into child car seat inspections, that would be wonderful.
Yes. So we, as a Safe Kids Coalition, do have certified child passenger safety technicians. When I went to class 16 years ago, it was a 5-day class with a written test, and it was hard. There is a lot to learn about different types of cars, different seatbelt systems. There's so many different car seats on the market. So there's a lot to learn about properly installing a car seat. And we do find that up to 90% of seats are installed incorrectly. And what I mean by that, it could be a very small error that maybe the harness is not at armpit level. It could be that the seat is not tight enough. Sometimes it's as serious as the parent forgets to actually buckle the seat in with the seat belt or the lower anchor system. So we see a variety of mistakes, and we encourage you to please come to Winterville Fire Rescue. You can call them at 756-2515. They are located on Railroad Street, and you can make an appointment on a Tuesday or Wednesday when a technician is available. There's no charge to have your seat checked by a certified technician. And then we are there from the hospital on the third Friday of each month from 1:30 to 4:30. No appointment is required. We offer free seat checks if you have your own seat and just need help with installation. We do offer seats for distribution at a discounted rate. That would be a convertible seat for an infant or toddler, a combination seat for a school age child, and a booster seat for school age. So we do offer those at a discount. One other piece that's really important with our program on the third Friday of each month from 1:30 to 4:30 at Winterville Fire Rescue is if you have received a child passenger safety ticket, you can come to our location, no appointment necessary, third Friday, and bring your license, your ticket, your child, the correct car seat, it cannot be expired, and $30 cash only, which is just a small fee that we apply to be able to purchase future seats for those in need. And that will help you to be able to have your ticket dismissed. The most important piece of our diversion program, Dr. J, is that the child is safer. I don't really care that the person is no longer going to have a $300 ticket. Yeah, I know they care because it hits their pocketbook, yet it's
Yeah.
so important that that child is safe. And that's the purpose of our program is our children are precious cargo, and we have to take care of them. They can't make these decisions themselves. They can't choose their own car seat. It is our responsibility to make sure that our children are safe. And I will mention one other point, Dr. J. I see this all the time at the fire station. An older child trying to tell the mother or father what car seat and if they're not going to be in a car seat. And you have to be the parent. You have to be the grandparent. You have to be that caregiver and say, I know what's best for you. I know what's safest. You need to stay in your booster seat. You need to stay in your car seat. I know what's best for you. And we can help back you up when you come to the fire station. We also have our law enforcement partners that can talk with children and help them understand the importance of buckling up every time. And also, Dr. J, I teach this to the children all the time at the fire station. It is now their job to tell grandma or their caregiver or their mom or their dad, everybody buckle up. Front seat, back seat. The law in North Carolina, everyone has to be buckled up.
That's right. And is there still a requirement or a ordinance for when a child is no longer required to be in a car seat?
Yes, sir. So the law is age 8 or 80 pounds. Best practice, which is what we do beyond the law, is 8 and 80 pounds. And the reason we say that is children come in all shapes and sizes. Some are short, some are tall, some are heavier, and it really needs to be 8 and 80. My son was 9.5 before he was tall enough to come out of the booster, but the minimum requirement is age 8 or 80 pounds.
Yeah. And since we're talking about safety, I'm not going to get into what Greenville Fire Rescue does as far as child safety seats are concerned, but I will mention this. The Greenville Fire Rescue website has some life safety links. For instance, emergency preparedness checklist, tornado preparedness, hurricane preparedness documentation, child safety tips, home safety tips, grill safety tips, entry prevention tips for seniors, tech ready. And for more information, you can contact them at 252-329-4679 or email fire rescue request at greenvillenc.gov. Ellen.
Yes, and thank you for mentioning, because Greenville Fire Rescue has been a great partner with us in the past around many of our risk areas, and they just had a junior fire academy, and we were able to provide helmets for that event and teach children about bike safety and pedestrian safety, which we partnered with Safe Kids North Carolina to utilize their bike trailer, and children were able to participate in a hands-on activity. So we do have those resources available. We have helmets and important bike and pedestrian safety information to be able to share with children and students. So please reach out to me if you are interested in that information.
And would you like to share your information, how they can contact you, Ms. Ellen?
Yes. So my direct number at ECU Health Medical Center, I'm in the Eastern Carolina Injury Prevention Program, and that number is 252-847-8532. Again, 252-847-8532. My email address is EWALSTON at Vidant, VIDANT, health, HEALTH.com. So Walston at vidanthealth.com. Please reach out. If I could share resources with you, I'd be happy to.
Thank you so much, Ellen. And we have about 15 seconds before we go to the break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask Ms. Ellen if she can share a little bit more on child safety and hot car, because she has to depart after the next 10-minute segment. And I'm going to have Mr. Miller call in. This is Awesome Radio, 106.9 FM. Back in a moment.
Keep it locked right here to the Glenn Johnson Show.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. If the child is not tall enough and their knees are bent, then the belt will slide up on them. And again, that will cause the lap portion to come up on their stomach, which we have a very horrible injury called seatbelt syndrome that can harm those inner organs, and it will not be a comfortable fit across their shoulders. So again, that's what we're looking for when you're transitioning them from a booster seat to the regular seat. Bottom line is seat belts are meant for adults, not children.
If you don't mind, we have 2 minutes ago. You want to repeat what you just said because I didn't have the button all the way up.
Yes. So we were just talking about when to test to see when a child would be able to safely leave that booster seat. Again, age 8 or 80 at a minimum. You would just remove the booster seat, allow them to sit on the regular seat of the car, and have them buckle up. If the shoulder portion fits nicely across their chest and doesn't cut into their neck, that's a good fit, because if it cuts into their neck, they're going to put it under their arm or behind their back, which is very dangerous. You want the lap portion to fit nicely across their hips, not cutting into their tummies, and you want their knees to bend comfortably. If their knees don't bend comfortably and they're short, they're going to slide down and that belt is going to rise up on their bodies.
Absolutely. So everything is a precaution and safety and prevention. Safety and prevention. Those are some key words to take away and keep in your mindset. What you say, Alan?
Yes.
Prevention.
Yes. And all that I've talked about today, these injuries are 100% preventable. We have the tools. We have good car seats. We have child proofing that we can put in our homes to keep our children from accidentally ingesting medications. We have the tools that we need. We have gun locks. We have helmets for biking. We want children to have fun. We want families to enjoy just the joys of having a child, yet we also want them to be safe. And it's your job and mine to keep them safe.
And as we want to keep people safe, or like children safe, I know, Ellen, you probably don't have the information with you because I know I don't. But I know how important car seats are. There's some organizations that don't accept donations of car seats for a particular reason. And I guess for insurance purposes, they will not accept a car seat as a donation because they don't want to, I guess, give the car seat to someone and then something happens and then held liable.
Right.
So I'm just assuming that might be what it is. I used to work for an organization that accepts donations, but they would not accept a car seat.
Mm-hmm. And part of that too is we don't know the history. When you purchase a used seat from someone, or if you bought it at a secondhand store, we don't know the history, and that's the concern.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it locked right here to the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn, as I'm anticipating for Coach Garrison to call back. 106.9 FM, back in a moment.
Partial funding for this program is brought to you by Mitchell's Memorial Funeral Home of Winterville, 2423 E Winter Village Drive. Encourages you to plan ahead now so you will not have to think about it later. 252-702-1880 or 252-917-4420. Mitchell's, a generational name your family have trusted for years. Now it's your turn. Ask for Mr. Donovan Phillips, the funeral home manager, for pre-need arrangements. 252-702-1880 or 252-917-4420. Mitchell's Memorial Funeral Home of Winterville. Thank you for your support.
My name is Jayla, and you're the seat to my papa, Glenn Johnson, on the radio.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for keeping it locked right here to 106.9 FM, Awesome Radio. Ms. Ellen Walston has to depart for some other initiatives that she has going on. So as I'm waiting for Coach Garrison or Mr. Mr. Miller Wiggins to give me a call, for any of our listeners that would like to call in, offer a comment, or have a question, please do so by calling 252-756-2008. One thing I would mention as I'm waiting for the calls to call in, and I'd like to go back to the address, and the child safety seat installation through the Winterville Fire Station. Ms. Ellen mentioned a number before. The hours by check by appointment, 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. to avoid wait times. Contact them for an appointment by calling 252-756-2515 or email inspections@wintervillenc.com. And so Winterville would inspect the Winterville Fire Rescue would inspect the seat. She also mentioned if you had a ticket and need a ticket dismissed, this is a ticket diversion program. It is sponsored through Safe Kids Pitt County. Please bring your child, age, weight, appropriate car seat, copy of the ticket, and driver license. There is a $30 cash only charge for this education in return for the ticket dismissal. So make sure you have those things in handy when you arrive. Make your appointment to possibly have that ticket dismissed. And Coach Garrison, if you can hear me, please call in at the number that I provided with you. Also, Mr. Miller Wiggins, and to the rest of our listening audience, if you'd like to call in and offer a comment, please do so by calling 252-756-2008. I would appreciate it because this is very important for public awareness. So, ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second, please. Okay, Coach Garrison, come on in. One of the other things I want to mention is Ellen mentioned Child Booster Seat Blitz, Saturday, September 17, 2020, 11 a.m. until 3 p.m., Williamston Scout Hut, 117 South Smithwick Street. The child must be present. Parents, caregivers must attend an educational session before having a free child booster seat installed. Certified technicians will be on hand to answer any questions and show you how to transport your child safely. Booster seats available while supplies last. Call Vicki Manning at 252-791-3133 for more information. That's sponsored by Safe Kids, ECU Health, Safe Kids Pitt County, Lions International, Martin, Terrell, Washington, and Fire EMS, Children's Miracle Network, hospitals. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the issues that they're taking on September 17, 2020 to help protect your child. One other tidbit. Did you know that motor vehicle crashes are the second leading cause of death for children 4 to 10 years of age? Did you know that 1/3 of these children were riding without a restraint that could have saved their lives? So that's why they're having this child booster seat blitz to prevent catastrophes like that from happening. And as I mentioned, we didn't get into what the Greenville Fire Rescue offers for child safety installation. They have some other things that they do. But I did share that they have other life safety links on their website. For instance, emergency preparedness checklist, tornado preparedness, hurricane preparedness documentation, child safety tips, home safety tips, grill safety tips, injury prevention tips for seniors, tech ready. For more information, you can contact them at 252-329-4679 or email fire rescue request at greenvillenc.gov, greenvillenc.gov. That's for the links to the life safety links that's provided by the Greenville Fire Rescue. Additionally, don't hesitate to email me at glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com. That's Glenn, with 2 N's, Johnson Show at gmail.com, and I will provide these necessary documents to you because I know how important it is. Once again, Safe Kids Pitt County. Safe Kids Pitt County is led by Vital Health, which provide dedicated and caring staff, operations, and support other resources to assist in achieving a common goal, keeping your kids safe. Based on the needs of the community, this coalition implements evidence-based programs such as car seats, checkups, safety workshops, and sports clinics that help parents and caregivers prevent childhood injuries. Their address is 2100 Stantonsburg Road, or P.O. Box 6028, Greenville, North Carolina 27835. They have a direct phone number, 252-847-8532, or email ewalston@videnthealth.com. That's ewalston, WALSTON, @videnthealth.com. And I'm going to put the phone number one more time. 252-847-8532. That's Safe Kids Pitt County. And don't forget about having your safety check or installation at the Winterville Fire Station. And their address is 2593 North Railroad Street, Winterville, 28590. To schedule an appointment, schedule Tuesdays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I'm just looking for the number. I just saw it. Anyway, that's Greenville. That's Winterville Fire Rescue EMS, 2593 North Railroad Street, Winterville, North Carolina. Let me just go get that phone number for you. I believe the phone number is 252-756-2515, or simply email inspections@wintervillenc.com. That's inspections@wintervillenc.com. Winterville government is the only government organization that don't use a .gov, a .gov. They use .com, so keep that in mind. If you contact Winterville, it's .com and not .gov. Once again, the Child Booster Safe Seat Blitz that'll be going on September 17, 2022, 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Williamston Scout Hut, 117 South Smithwood Street. The child must be present. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another educational, informative topic for our community here on the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation with Glenn at Massena. So, if you would like to avail yourself to the documents, please don't hesitate to email me at glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to provide the documents to you. I'm going to give out just Ms. Ellen's information again. Her email address is ewalston@videnthealth.com. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the broadcast today. This has been a fabulous broadcast of the Glenn Johnson Show here on Awesome Radio. Till the next time, 106.9 FM. See you later. Thank you.
Jesus.